Welcome, Adrian. So, as you've seen, we've been going through the journey of everyone, and I want to start off with you. Going back to 2004, you already had 2 decades of experience designing championship-winning cars, both for teams which David drove for. So I have to ask you, was it a bit of a bromance going on that brought you to Red Bull?
As it turns out, the 3 teams that David has driven for, it was actually the same 3 teams as I've worked for, and so I've known David since he was a wee test driver, very young lad, in 1993, I think. He then moved to McLaren. I moved to McLaren a year after. He moved to Red Bull. And then really from there, things developed.
And how excited were you, David, when you found out that Adrian was joining the team?
Well, Adrian has been incredibly successful through his entire career, even prior to Formula One. So when Christian first suggested that, would Adrian be available? At that point, I was so immersed in trying to understand where we were as a team. I hadn't really given that consideration, but thankfully he accepted the challenge and the invitation, and the team of people that he's built here has been proven out by the success. The thing that I really love about Adrian, as well as being obviously a creative chap, pretty handy when it comes to being at the drawing board, because for those who know Formula One closely, they'll know that Adrian still uses a pencil to design, but he's a racer. And maybe he doesn't have the same racing success as Max Verstappen, but he has been out on the racetrack, and he likes to keep it simple. I remember once, going into great detail, explaining everything the car was doing on a lap, and at the end of having given this long explanation, he went, "What do you need to go faster?" Kept it simple. And then I went, "Well, understeer." And he went, "Okay, we'll work on the understeer." So out of all of this sort of, mess going on in my head about the journey around the racetrack, just focus on what you need to go quicker. And that simplicity has clearly been very successful for him and his team.
Incredible. Now, Christian, of course, even the greatest teams go through challenging moments. And fast forwarding now to 2014, when Mercedes started to look a little bit unbeatable, how did you stay resilient as a team?
Well, I think that that was a testing period for the team. That there was a big regulation change. We'd gone from enjoying huge success with Sebastian Vettel and those 4 consecutive world championships, and suddenly, for reasons beyond our control, we didn't have an engine that could compete with the likes of what Mercedes had come up with. So suddenly, it was about keeping the group together, keeping the team together, staying focused on addressing a weak point, and focusing on the things that we could control and the things that where we could be strong. And I think it was that team spirit, it was that togetherness that we didn't lose key members of the team during that period, and we were able to win races every single year bar one, until we got ourselves in a position with a competitive engine to suddenly then be able to go for a championship again.
Now, we've spoken a lot about the past, but I know that Red Bull is a lot about the future, and in particular, backing young talent through the Red Bull Academy program, through Visa, Cash App, RB, and Oracle Red Bull Racing. How important is it to you to bring in those fresh new names?
Well, look, it's really exciting, and I think Red Bull have committed more to Formula One Academy than any other team in Formula One, and with Oracle Red Bull Racing and Red Bull fielding cars, and the Visa Cash App RB team also putting cars out, there's going to be a really strong Red Bull presence, and it's great to see these young girls getting a chance as the sport starts to embrace female racing.
Absolutely. Well, on that note, let's have a look at that next generation of racing and some very exciting young female talent.
I'm Emily de Heus.
And I'm Hamda Al-Kubaisi, and I'm part of the Red Bull Academy program.
A few years ago, I couldn't even think about being part of Red Bull. It was always a dream.
F1 Academy is a big opportunity.
My ambitions for next season is I want to win, I want to be champion, of course.
I feel like Red Bull has done many amazing things, not just in motorsport. It's exciting to be part of it.
And here they are in the flesh from the Red Bull Academy program. It's Hamda Al-Kubaisi and Emily de Heus. All right, so Hamda, I'll come to you first, as you'll be driving for F1 Academy for Red Bull Racing. Tell us a bit about your journey into motorsport and how this program is helping you with the next level of your career.
Yeah, I got into karting when I was 12 years old, and I fell in love with the sport immediately. And from there, we moved up the ladder into F4 and finally into F1 Academy last year. We ended the season very strong in the top 3, and now I'm part of the Red Bull family and couldn't be more